Hey, Scruffy. Not coming to the door? You eat too much today? So, I gave Scruffy some extra kibble at lunch, so maybe he's not hungry. And then he had all the probably extra food from last night. So I'm back from my trip. And so yesterday I had the automated pet feeder set up, and it's programmed to give him a little more food than I usually give him because I don't have any wet cat food to go with it. So let's hook them out. So I put extra kibble this afternoon in his carrier way back there. So I'll talk about that in a moment, but I wanted to see if I can get him used to the carrier still. And yeah, he ate all the kibble. There's nothing left. But yeah, he was really skittish about the carrier. So I'll talk about that in a moment while I first get his food on the table and get the glove. So, don't know if Scruffy misses the pets or not. So, since I wasn't here yesterday, is he gone feral? No, I think he's okay. It's seems a little defensive, but he's getting into it. Okay, so anyway, as a recap, yeah, yesterday I was out, and I had to catch a train to go visit relatives. And so, yeah, I brought out yesterday before I left the automated pet feeder, water, and I gave him some rotisserie chicken scraps. So for dinner, yeah, he was on his own. The feeder was programmed to go off and give him, I think it was 2 units of food, which is, at least for dry kibble, it's a lot more than I normally give him. But usually I mix in wet cat food, so since he didn't have the wet cat food, I figured the extra kibble would make up for that. But since I gave him rotisserie chicken when I came out yesterday, probably didn't need all that, but oh well. So he gets a little feast while I'm gone. So last night I got back kind of late. I came out to clean up the water bowl, and because I'm worried about the raccoons coming back and causing problems. So Scruffy wasn't here. Not sure where he goes in the middle of the night. The bowl is completely empty, so either Scruffy drank all the water or the raccoons got to it. I didn't put that much water in. Usually I put more, but because I'm worried about the raccoons, I put a lot less in yesterday, thinking that hopefully it'd be just the right amount, so Scruffy would drink what he needed, and hopefully it'd be just about right, so there won't be any left. So hopefully I got it right, and he wasn't thirsty. And hopefully I didn't put too much extra that brought the raccoons back. Because I'm worried that the raccoons can cause Scruffy some severe damage if they frequently come back. Pretty fierce animals. So today, yeah, came out at lunch, and I wanted to do a couple things. So one, give him his water and kibble. 2, bring in the pet feeder. And 3, my kibble containers inside the house are actually getting very low, so I wanted to refill them, and I keep the big bags of kibble out here in a storage container under the big table. And so I have to come out here to get the kibble to refill the containers. So after I fed Scruffy, I got the went over. So I stopped filming and I got the kibble to refill my containers, and I think Scruffy has now figured out what I'm doing when I go under the table to get the kibble container, because he used to kind of run away completely, and now he's keeping his distance, but he's sitting watching me. So he wants the kibble, so he knows that there's kibble there, and he knows he wants the food, and I think he's hoping I'll feed him. And usually I give him a few extra pieces after I'm done. And also usually what I've been doing recently, or what I've been doing for a while, is I've been putting some extra kibble in the cat carrier when I'm done. That's on the table. So if you go back a couple years, I bought the cat carrier hoping that maybe Scruffy would make it a cat house or something, little home shelter from the cold or something. And he completely hates it. And I tried to get him acclimated to into it a couple different ways. One of which was I was putting kibble and water in there. So I was hoping he'd get used to it. If I just kept putting food in there, he'd go in and eventually get comfortable. And no, he never got comfortable. So he was very, very suspicious of the carrier, and he would always very cautiously go into the carrier, but he would try to stick out his butt as much as possible. So he was trying to go in as little as possible to get the food without actually having to go all the way in. And then he would grab a couple pieces of kibble and immediately reverse out, and so he wasn't in there while he was eating. So he's very, very suspicious of the carrier, and he's never really gotten over that. And he also won't go in the carrier if I'm too close. So he, also makes sure that there's nobody nearby when he's going in. So, I was thinking if I start putting kibble, when I'm not around in there, maybe he'll just get more used to it over time, and he won't be as paranoid about it. But yeah, that never materialized. But every time I refill my kibble containers, I decide I'm going to try it one more time just to see if it improves, and it never seems to improve. So this afternoon, after I went back in, I did see Scruffy on the table, and he was looking at the carrier. I don't think he had gone in yet, because the door was... I left the door just a little bit open. It was a little bit enough that he'd have to kind of bump it with his head or his paw to get it open so he can go in. And he was looking at it, and the door still looked like it was closed enough that he hadn't gone in it yet. And then when he saw me on the table, I think eventually decided to drop down. So I think he was really suspicious, and he decided, yeah, this human's watching me. I'm not going in there. I'm getting off the table. This human can't be trusted. I shouldn't be near this thing. I gotta go. And then later this afternoon, I saw him sleeping on the table, and the door was a little bit further open. So I think he had gone back on the table, eaten the kibble, and then took a nap. But yeah, he hates the carrier. So yeah, there's some people who keep telling me I should just get him in the carrier, and no, it doesn't work that way. Scruffy is very afraid of the carrier. Scruffy basically only trusts me, like right now, when I pet him, and only this much. I can't get him in the carrier. I don't think I can pick up Scruffy. He doesn't trust me enough for that. The moment I start, moving in my chair, he gets nervous and runs back. So I usually have to be very still, just sitting in this chair, because he's still only finally barely trusts me, even during pets. And then after he eats, he doesn't really trust me anymore. Speaking of which, I guess it's food time, huh? Fix your ear there. Okay. So let's see. Tonight we have fresh can of mini pate or super supper. Scruffy is looking at something. That was weird. I've never seen Scruffy turn around while I was brushing him. I thought he was trying to avoid the brush at first, but in fact, I was continuing to brush him just so he wouldn't freak out. I know sometimes when he looks directly at the brush, he starts freaking out, and then I can't brush him anymore. So I kept brushing him, and he was actually looking in the other direction, so it wasn't the brush that was catching his attention. So there's something else going on. But I'm glad he wasn't dodging the brush, because he freaks out on the brush sometimes. Especially if he looks at it head on, he seems to freak out. So anyway, so I got footage of our short lunch today, sans me refilling the containers. So I ended it right before right before I refilled the containers. Hey, Scruffy. Where you're limping there for a second. I think you're okay. Miss me? So she had been well fed last night. Soon the machine went off and gave you too much food. So I came back late. I took in the water bowl. It was empty, so I guess he drank everything. Or the raccoons got to it. And you can see Scruffy. So I'm not sure where he goes in the middle of the night. So I need to refill my kibble containers. I'm going to do that after I give Scruffy his food. Okay. So put him on the table here. Oops. I gotta take in the kibble machine too. Here you go. So anyway, my trip was okay. I didn't have any major problems, thankfully. I did have some confusion about parking. Or parking fees. So I read that the train doesn't charge fees for parking on during various holiday times. So parking should be free. But I read that my county does enforce parking fees all year round. No breaks. And so the confusing part was trying to figure out who owned the parking lot. Was it the train or the county? So I had trouble figuring that out. And yeah, nobody was around, so nobody would tell me anything or could tell me anything. There was an intercom if he had needed assistance, and I rang the intercom and nobody was there, probably because it's a holiday schedule. So I ended up paying just because I didn't want to worry about it. Figured they'd probably screw me, so figured better pay the stupid parking fee rather than risk getting a parking ticket or towed away. And then yeah, right off the bat, yeah, I saw a very, very crazy person in the station waiting for my train. And this guy was, yeah, walking back and forth, down the length of the platform, and he was, kind of yelling and screaming to himself. Didn't, didn't really comprehend what he was saying. The really scary thing about him was, well, one, he was kind of a big guy, but the more scary thing was he had some sort of strap. I'm not sure what it was. It was bigger than like a belt. It's like wider. And he basically kept swinging it, so he was slapping it, in the air in front of him and swinging around, and so that made him look a little dangerous. So, fortunately, yeah, there was no incident. So, but yeah, I tried. I picked a bench, kind kind of near the back of the station. So, trying to keep my distance. And then, oh, I did bring my laptop, hoping to do a little bit of work or something on the train. And then, yeah, my battery was dead. So I usually leave my laptop plugged in so I can just grab it and go. And yeah, something with the charger must have shut off because, yeah, the battery was completely dead. So it wasn't recharging. I think I've had this problem once before. I have this little dongle. And it's like a pass-through, so I can plug in more devices, um, including the power. And I think the dongle shuts off sometimes. It's a bug or a defect. And unfortunately, yeah, I should have actually verified that the laptop was charged before I left. But yeah, I was getting everything else ready, so it's kind of a very low priority for me. Yeah, I was wrapping those presents for the toy charity drive, and so I had a bunch that I needed to wrap. I'm terrible at wrapping, so it took me a while. So I was kind of preoccupied with that, and then getting some other things, and the train schedule, and yeah. So the laptop I just kind of assumed would be charged, and yeah, of course it wasn't. So I had a very boring train ride. And the train schedule was wrong. Sneeze there. Occasionally, Scruffy, more recently, has been tolerant of my sneezes and he won't run away, but apparently not tonight. Yeah, so the train schedule was wrong. It was actually, yeah. I actually had I was supposed to. Yeah. I didn't have a direct line, and so I actually had to transfer. but the schedule was wrong about the transfers, and they actually the, the website was actually telling me I needed to take a different train line and transfer at a completely different station to catch a completely different train line. And when I actually got there, um, yeah, they were running a completely different train line, and the transfer point was a completely different place. So, kind of par for the course, though. Yeah, don't expect that much from them. And, yeah, got to see my relatives. So that was nice, and yeah, ate too much food. So still see kibble in the bowl, so I'm gonna move the balls for Scruffy.
Yeah, there's pate too.
Yeah, so I don't think Scruffy's that hungry tonight. Probably been overfeeding him. No, I think I might have another gopher problem. In my front yard, I saw a new. I think I detected a new hole. I think it's a fresh hole. It could be an old hole that is already there, but thought I thought it had sealed up mostly, but and this one looked like it wasn't sealed. So I caved it in, and I'm going to see if the hole reemerges or not. Last time I had gophers, yeah, I did that. Yeah, the holes reappeared like in a day. So I'm gonna have to deal with another gopher, and yeah, Scruffy never seems to get them, so I gotta do it myself. If Scruffy's lucky, I'll catch it fresh, and he'll get it another gopher meal. I don't know if I'm gonna be that lucky. So I've caught, I think, 3 gophers, is it? And he only ate one of them, because I think the other two, the kills weren't fresh enough. But he did go to town with the second one that he ate. So today's a little warmer. It's actually not bad right now. So thinking Scruffy might go stalk the neighborhood. Weather's good. Looking for more food? No. Okay, well, I'm gonna get up. Okay, thanks for watching. See you next time.